Kalimera, kalispera, kalinichta, no matter where in this wild, wacky, and sometimes wonderful world you might be. Thank you for making the Highbury Squad part of your day. It has been quite the time in the making, but I finally have the original Nigerian kings on at the same time, people. Let's rock and roll, squaddies. Mind the gap between the train and the platform. Please stand clear of the discussion doors. The next stop is Highbury Squad. It's been a good week, and I couldn't imagine two better folks to hang out with to end such an epic time for the Gunners. It's not over yet, and we're going to talk about it tonight for those listening on Apple, Spotify, and our other audio platforms. Appreciate you too. Make sure you subscribe so you do not miss a show, especially when you've got two epic guests like this. They've never been on Highbury Squad together. They have been on separately, I believe. I may be wrong, but, I'll always be corrected, squaddies. Welcome back to Squad Central, my podcast brothers from another mother, Mr. Albert JTV, and Kenny Ken's back, people.
So it is an absolute honor, man. You got jollof rice and chicken with some spiceful Greek on this podcast.
Well, when you mentioned the Nigerian part, it's always a shock to people, about my Nigerian background, because the first thing when they hear my accent, they say, "Well, he's West Indian." Got to be some in the Caribbean. So when I tell them Nigerian, they don't believe me, and I have to prove myself. So I have to tell them about Nigerian history, and I've got to say a few things in Igbo, because when you grow up in in London Nigerian household, it's loud. It's really loud. The music loud.
The Greek house.
The houses are crowded. Everyone's your cousin.
Lots of
all the aunts, your aunts and uncles, and the food's absolutely banging. And I'll tell you one thing, mate: jollof rice, fried rice, a goosey soup, okra soup. Loads of chicken,
ground rice.
And let's just say your taste buds. Let's just say you'll never have a cold if you're Nigerian, because there's pepper in all the food.
Okra soup. Oh, Kenny.
Yeah. Okra in Greek, that's called bamyas. We love a good old bamya stew. You got the okra we make it with tomato base, and then you get that fresh Greek bread and you dip that in. I'm salivating. Who invited you two here to talk about food right now to a Greek woman?
I can actually cook it as well.
Perimenopause.
I can actually cook jollof rice and fried rice. That's so I'll be able to do it. If you guys are good, I'll be able to send you some food recipes.
Listen, I'm all for it. I'm in my era of discovering. Just when you think you can discover, I love food. So here's do you want to hear something? And by the way, you guys, this is the social part of the show, which I love. These are my favorite parts. If I didn't have to talk about football, I'd love it. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Okay, I don't know if you guys do this as well. By the way, everyone, hit the like button, squaddies at ease. Love you lots. Make sure you listen to our Chief Like Officer, Tammy Steels. Food, glorious food indeed, Trev. Let's all make sure we have the right etiquette. Listen, let me tell you, we eat how we want. Bamya is good. It is. It's so good. So good. I love it. Right. So I follow on Instagram. My favorite people to follow are foodies, but not annoying foodies. People who actually really don't make those videos that last 30 seconds to tell me how you made something, how it tasted, and how it made you feel. And so when I get hungry for dinner, I look for inspiration. So I watch a couple of Instagram videos, and then I get super, super hungry. And then I order all kinds of shit I should never order, because my eyes are bigger than my stomach, and I leave it right to the very DEFCON 5. And then sometimes Tony will be like, "You've been looking at your phone for like an hour. Are you going to order something? You got to eat." And then I end up getting so fed up with myself trying to find something to eat that I'll have a bowl of cereal.
Is that right? You'd have Rice Krispies over there? What's the equivalent, sir?
Over 50 boring stories. SophieNicolau.com. Just follow me. No, I can't. I can't do the sugary cereals. It's got to be.
Okay, fair enough.
Those days are over. Can't be doing like
No more
Apple Jacks and things like that. No more Frosted Flakes, Kenny. Not for me.
I've forgotten what cereals, like. But yeah, back in the day, shredded wheat,
Crunchy
Frosties, Cocoa Pops, Ricicles, all those Rice Krispies.
Yeah.
It's nice, and then obviously you've got the custard creams, and Bourbons,
Bourbon
in the USA, but yeah, and then so there's loads of things that we shouldn't be having because I'm getting to an age where they say you can't have too much sugar in your blood.
Yeah, no, listen, I'm at that age where, things are happening. As a woman, things that you really appreciated pointing north, start pointing south just a little bit. This is the life. We talk about life here, people. If you don't like the life talk, then that's that. Yeah, and I just literally before I came, apparently I've got high cholesterol. And I have a good diet, but it's hereditary, right? Because my dad's had a triple heart bypass. So, my sister has high cholesterol. She has a good diet. Tony, who's like a supreme athlete her whole life, not right now, of course, but she had high cholesterol diagnosis a couple years ago, and she's a marathon runner and, a biker and all this type of stuff. So it's kind of a little scary as you get older, guys.
It is because they give you medication for it as well, because basically with your cholesterol, what happens is that you actually build up a lot of cholesterol when you're asleep overnight. So when any medication they give you, to reduce your cholesterol, you have to take it at night. But yeah, that was what I was told when I was having a discussion with the GPs and people in the medical profession. That's probably one of the reasons why we do have situations where we could lose people when they in their sleep because their cholesterol is so high, and then obviously that causes cardiovascular complications. So when you get to a certain age, as fit as you are, you also remember the fuel you put in your body to get you to that level of fitness is probably harming you.
Yeah, I think if there's anything about new technology, social media that has been an awakening in a positive way, is that we've really become more in tune with our food, our ingredients, what we put in our body. I mean, I look back at my 20s now and an old football culture, like when I go to a game, come out of Arsenal Station. And I'm sorry, I think it was the influence of my cousin George because he's a terrible eater, but he's lean. And as a woman, sometimes you don't have that same metabolism and balance as a man does, right? So you come out of Arsenal Station, you get the dirty burger, and it's like I don't want the burger from there. And then we've got to go and get the curry fries, but I think even football scran now there's more healthy options available when you go to a game.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Anyway, we'll talk about football food another time. Thanks for those who are still tuned in 8 minutes in. And we appreciate you. So I was thinking about what do I want to do when I get Albert and Kenny on the show together. And as you know, here at Highbury Squad, we do all of our post-game shows. We talk about stats, analytics, and dissect the game. And then, of course, we have our one-on-one interviews that we love and our fan phone-ins. And every now and again, I like to kind of just take a step back and analyze things in a different way. And so I thought I'd bring back the SWOT analysis for today because I think it can spawn some really good conversation in terms of where we're at. But most importantly, no rear view mirror syndrome right now. It's all about looking forward. Where are we going? How are we going to get there? And so for me, for today, I wanted to kind of talk about the core challenges, but also the opportunity. There's so much opportunity between now and the end of the season. So let's get cracking with our SWOT analysis. Squaddies, for those listening on replay, and most of you will be, and I will be better at this, I do promise you. When are you going to have set times for the show again? Because right now it's only Monday Madness. I operate in a way where I go when my guests can go because I love my guests and I love the dialogue with my guests. So we'll try and get more of a, now as the season ensues, Champions League is a little bit more set. we can get some more set times going for Tuesdays and Wednesdays and stuff. But Kenny, I want to start on the strength sides in our SWOT. We have an incredible squad. There's a lot of good things. Just for those of you who haven't done a SWOT before, how it works is we talk about each section as we go, and then the threats, just to make it clear, they're from outside sources, things that you can't control. So if this was a marketing exercise with a brand, your threats would come. If you had a fizzy drink, your threats would come from your competition, from exterior market issues, etc. So the weaknesses are things we can control, but the threats come from the outside. So Kenny, let's start with the strengths and what you see that Mikel can utilize, pull off between now and May.
Well, first thing that Mikel's got to, in his sort of cupboard is that he's got a settled side. This is his team. He's got the goalkeeper he wants. He's got the defence he wants. Start of the season, he's finally got a solid, fullback combination in terms of like Timber and Calafiori. They've been absolutely brilliant this season, and obviously they complement the centre half. So his back four is absolutely solid, and then in the midfield, having Declan Rice playing the best football of his career at the moment, that helps. Zubimendi. So when Declan Rice is in that sort of form and he's got that defence, Zubimendi can learn on the job. Because when you see Zubimendi, you're not seeing a lot of consistency with Martin, because he's learning on the job. He's showing that he's very good in the air. He's showing that if he's allowed to, he can dictate the game as a number 6 and, basically dictate how we play. That's very good. And then when you think about it, we can actually allow him to develop. And then if Martin Odegaard and, Eze are not up to it, at least we've got that kind of solid back four and those, Declan Rice in that position. And then you've got to look at the whole situation. That's what's keeping us a few points ahead of Man City.
Let me ask you this real quick before you move too forward, because what do you mean by learning on the job? I hear this all the time, right? Zubimendi's an experienced player. So
you look at Zubimendi, in normal circumstances, when you've got a player that's come from Spanish football, 9 out of 10 times you kind of take him out, you play him and then you take him out. With Zubimendi, a lot of people are half and half towards Zubimendi, i.e. whether they think he's good enough, whether he's better than Partey, whether we miss Partey or not. They're different players. Partey was very much a physical, number 6. He was able to, pass through the lines, but he was also able to enable Declan to go up and down. While Zubimendi, he's a continental number 6, where the way he plays is that he's going to be able to dictate the way he play, dictate the tempo, take it from the goalkeeper, start at the back. But consistently, he's not able to do it because sometimes he can be pressed. So he has to learn how to be able to pass the ball when he's getting pressed. He's got to learn as well to play the way we play, I see, off the ball. And then obviously he's got to, be a bit of a goal threat. So that's why I'm saying is that he's not going to be able to be on a bench and watch us play. He's got to learn how we play by playing. So that's my version of learning the job. And for me, I like the guy because I like the fact that we're now going to finally get a number 6 that's going to play the proper number 6 way, not the boring way with Makelele. I'll just sit in front of the back four, just be a water carrier. No, the modern number 6 has to dictate the way we play. He has to have a bit about him. He has to be able to, when needed, get forward, then stay in that position. But he has to be the conductor. He dictates how we play. He has to, no matter how he plays, if he's doing his job, that's how we're going to play. From attack, slow build up, quick build up. But it has to come through him. And that's why I like what he's doing this season. If he gets pressed, too bad. That's what happens. Still give him the ball. That's our strength. It's him. When he finally, gets to that position where he's playing his best football, you won't recognise him. He'd be like $1 million. He'll probably want to be one of the best players in Europe. if he gets it right with us. I promise you.
So
we did a special episode with Kevin Hatchard and Graham Hunter on kind of the players coming from Spain. And Graham Hunter's version of Zubi and Marino. And by the way, there is a clip that I have of Graham Hunter from when we first signed Marino, and it was not going particularly great. And he said, be patient with him. He will be a player that will give you big moments. And at the time, I was like, okay. And talk about people who know their football and see players for years playing week in, week out. And one of the things he talked about was the relationship with Zubi, but also Zubi Mendy. And kind of, I think the purity of the person kind of translates into how he plays his football as well, Kenny. And there's something about him where he's not the media kind of whore kind of player. He doesn't, blow out his promos. He's a footballer. And that's what kind of Graham was talking about, is that he loves his football and he was looking for a new challenge, but afraid maybe to try something new and not be the player that people have seen him kind of for the Spanish team and in La Liga as well. But I think he's one of, together with Cherki, I think, and Ekatike, I think he's been one of the signings of the summer. I really do.
Totally agree.
Yeah, well said.
A lot of people, I've got the greatest respect for our fans who, show a degree of patience, because in England, we're brought up where if someone's marked, don't give them the ball. No, that's the best time to give them the ball, because when you give them the ball,
tight areas.
In tight areas, the reason why they got that reputation is because they can keep the ball. They're strong, but they also got good feet and they've got brain as well. The minute you give Superman the ball, you know full well he's looking to pass to you. So you've got to get there and be that option. That's how you help them. Be the option. If you're playing with a young player, the first thing I'll do if I'm playing with, say, Ranieri and Miles Lewis Skelly, and I'm an experienced player, the first thing I'll do is that I always show for them. I wouldn't mind them getting the ball when they're not, if I show for them. You don't help your players where you're not giving them the ball because they're mocked. No. You don't buy them. You're buying them because they are good when they got players around them. They are good when they're at press, because if they win their individual duel, that's space for the rest of you.
Yeah. No, totally. Very good, insightful point there. What else are we looking at strengths wise, Albert? What do you have? And just jump in, you guys, and we can talk about it, because I think that we have probably, since Mikel's taken over, the most strengths we've ever had as a team. Albert?
No, it's a good point, a fair point. And I think I look at it from a defensive point of view, because I think a good example, Sophie and Kenny Ken, is when you look at when Brendan Rodgers was at Liverpool. Now, for me, the only reason why they didn't win the league that season was the 2013-14 season, I think it was. Look at the amount of goals they conceded. Just look at that column alone in itself. They could blow teams away in the first 20, 45 minutes, Sophie, but the goals they conceded, you cannot, I don't care the prestige of how good you are as a club, you cannot win a league title conceding that many goals. And that's what undid them in the end. So you sort of fast forward to Arsenal. We've spoken about this before on the Highbury Squad and on many platforms. We had a period when obviously Mikel first came in, where the defense was forever changing, centre-backs, full-backs, back threes, back two. We've had to move out a lot of players that weren't up to task, quite frankly, in terms of our defensive unit. We've uncovered, a fantastic centre-back partnership in Gabriel and Saliba. I call them good cop, bad cop. They complement each other so well. That sort of right-footed, left-footed combination. But not just that, it's the aggression of Gabriel, the calmness and ball-playing ability of Saliba. And I think, and I can't speak for every Arsenal fan, is when I go to watch games, Kenny can go to watch games, you, Sophie, in terms of trust, you want to have a back unit, including your goalkeeper, where you watch them play and you think, you know what, nobody's going to get past us today. You know, it's not by accident in terms of the last few seasons. Yes, we can talk about Arsenal not getting over the line, which I'm sure we're going to touch upon, you know, certain points of the SWOT analysis, but defensively, and I look at Arsenal over the last 10, 15 years, that the improvement in the last 2-3 seasons, having the best defensive record, is not by accident. It takes hard work, Sophie and Kenny Ken. One, you got to get the right personnel. Two, you got to drill them well. Timber, you know, from the injury, come back from the injury, in an Arsenal shirt has been phenomenal. You know, the left side we can talk about. I think Calafiore, I'll sort of give him his flowers a bit more in terms of what he does for me over the next couple of seasons. But obviously, from what we saw last season to this season, he's been fantastic. And Sophie, when you have 12 clean sheets a season, and we still got 14 games to go, you're doing something right. And I think what Arsenal have done really, really well. And Sophie, you coined the phrase, the Great Wall of Arsenal. I think it's appropriate. Yes, the league's not done yet, but I think we've become more robust. There's a consistency there. We terrify and scare the living daylights out of teams in England and across Europe because of the set pieces. And I think one thing Arsenal definitely mastered before I finish up, because Fabio mentioned in the chat, it's a good point, having the two players in every position. Mikel's very big for that. But I think one thing Arsenal definitely mastered very, very well, people in the chat and Kenny, Ken and Soph, is, yes, we talk about the style of football Arsenal played in 22-23 and 23-24. But what Arsenal done really, really well under the guise of Mikel, and we talk about him being, you know, the tutelage and working under someone like a David Moyes and playing under Wenger. But, you know, Kenny Ken said, I'm not going to steal it. He's more like George Graham. And so we've mastered the art of winning games ugly. Yeah. That's not going to be pleasing to every Arsenal fan. No. Of course it won't, or rival teams. But when you got the ability to do that, you got a pretty bloody good chance of winning the Premier League.
I remember I was arguing with Kev not like the 2 seasons ago, and I was like, Kev, I'm bored, and he's like, yeah. And how did you feel when we were getting thrashed 8-2 and 5-1? Were you bored then too? And I'd be like, no, I was angry and I was upset. And he would say to me, because he played for Graham, Kenny, and you saw those teams. And David Hillier's been on this show, even Warren Barton, Jason Cundy, the people that have been on this show, Paul Davis, Jack Wilshere, like they feel that Mikel is closer to George Graham than Wenger, right? And I've been screaming, and thank you, Albert, all season, we're a blue-collar team that likes to drink champagne sometimes. And Kev used to say to me, I'll take 38 1-0s if it means winning the title. I never used to think that way, Kenny, but I really do now. And Albert, the strength, I think, is at the core, the defense. You're right. But
all great title-winning teams have been built in defense. You know, if you want to sort of look at the modern example outside Arsenal, you only have to look at Mourinho's Chelsea. That team was so difficult to break down. You know, you think about it. Left back Ashley Cole, before it was Wayne Bridge, and it was like Ferreira, then it had Carvalho and Terry, then it had Makelele. Off the ball, look what happened to Joey Cole. Joey Cole, I'm from Islington, and when you're growing up in Islington, obviously I'm 10 years older than Joey Cole. I was back, you know, if you're in your like mid-20s, all we were in about is this young kid called Joey Cole. We said he was like Zizou, Zidane, New Gaza. He goes to Chelsea. He's won everything, but he's a shadow of the player that we were talking about in Islington. And I think that's where the best defensive, the best title-winning teams, you have to be defensive, because there's going to be games where it's a battle, where you may have been a game where you only have 40% of possession, but you've got to make sure you don't lose. You've got to make sure you're organised. You've got to make sure the Liverpool ball that you get, you keep possession really well. And then you've got to have a bit of oomph in you, mentally, physically. You're difficult to break down. And there's certain games That Chelsea side were able to do it. This Arsenal side is replicating it. But the thing is, you've got to get the balance right. You still got to play with a bit of panache, because at the end of the day, when you win your first title, of course you're going to drag yourself towards it. But if you want to dominate, then panache has to sometimes supplement the steel.
But don't you think that will come, Kenny? Don't you think that? So the way I see it, right, we've seen a lot of panache from Mikel's teams prior to last season. The last minute goal against City, where we thought we were going to win at the Etihad, I think that killed us and killed the way Mikel refuses to lose games. And that was an instigator. Clive Palmer talked about that a little bit on our show, and we've had lots of discussions about that put more fear in him, whereas he was fearless. And I think we have at times this season, I think the Champions League is our creative outlet. And I think what Mikel's trying to do in the Premier League is just win it, right? But we've also put a little show on in the Premier League, maybe just 3 or 4 games. But I think he's allowing them that creative outlet in the Champions League.
And just coming off that a little bit of where you'll go back to Kenny Kemba, I think one thing that has improved, which I don't think is actually really spoken about enough of Arsenal. So if we sat on plenty of streams last season, and that stat was glaring all of us Arsenal fans in the face.
22 points drop.
Losing points from winning positions.
Exactly.
That's happened this season, but nowhere near what happened last season. And that's a massive improvement. That has to be, that can't be overlooked.
Albert, you know what? I think of all the things Mikel probably looked at to take stock of for this coming season, I think it was the points from losing positions. You make up over a third of those, and I think we win the league, right? And so, yeah. Any other strengths you guys wanted to outline before we get to our week? I know there's a ton, but I just asked the guys to give like their core strength.
Would that you would have kind of gone through the kind of core strengths, because one thing about it is that I suppose the strength is, and most of the non-strength is that the bed makes itself tactically. The core players know what's required of them to the extent that they can play like that in their sleep. Obviously, we've got new additions to the side, and you know it's sometimes difficult for them to bed in. But having that core side, you know, they can't. Obviously, Mikel is a bit of a, you know, he's a micromanager, but ultimately, you don't really need to tell Declan Rice what to do on a pitch. You don't need to tell the back four, especially the 2 defenders, what to do. And these are players who've played with Mikel for quite a while. So that is our strength, that if we do have difficulties within a match, when the opposition top us, at least it's inbuilt into these players, the system, you know. Over the school.
Big brother, let me ask you something, because I mentioned it to Sophie and James. Big up RJ in the chat as well. I don't know if you saw it in the first half, because we talk a lot about Arsenal recycling and not moving the ball quickly. Mikel was furious. I mean, I think he had a conversation with Timber, and it might have been Saliba, because you could see what he was saying to them. Move the ball quicker and go a little bit more direct. Maybe he's done that on the touchline for majority of the games, but to see it close proximity, I thought.
I'll see Mikel all the time.
Yeah.
From day one since Mikel's got the job, he's very much like a micromanager. And to be honest, everyone talks about...
You have to be.
In modern football, you have to be. But you know what? Everyone talks about captaincy. I think the captaincy is redundant in modern football when you've got managers like, you know, Joey Guardiola and Mikel Arteta, because they're so hands-on. You don't actually need that. They're kicking every ball. They're always.
He literally is.
Yeah. You know, he's telling people where to run. You don't really, you know, we're so used to like Adams, Vieira, McClintock, Sampson, you know, O'Leary at times. Those captains don't exist anymore because of managers like Mikel and Joey Guardiola. They're really, you know, hands-on.
So if you pause, though.
Sorry, say that again. Oh no, I didn't. I was listening to Kenny. I was
Sorry,
sending
sorry.
Mike
I'll
a
finish.
message.
I'll finish with point.
Oh, you finished. Okay. All right. Okay. Good. Yeah, the cat. I really don't like the way now. The ill form of Odegaard has given people ammunition and permission to utilize Tony Adams' words against him, saying that we'll never win anything with him as captain. Listen, I respect Tony. I'm a huge fan. I've had the opportunity to talk to him. He's a very special human being with everything that he's done, and knowing like struggles and how he helps people with struggles as a former Arsenal captain who had to live through a lot of shit. Okay. Went to prison, had some embarrassing, humiliating front page news, let alone back page. I thought that comment was a little bit I thought that comment was more of wanting to have a dig at Mikel than Martin as a player. And I don't think that helped the situation. Now, look, people can say what they want about Martin, and maybe we'll talk. Well, we can swing into weaknesses, right? We get into a whole bunch of.
He might be part of those weaknesses.
He might be part of those weaknesses. So I think, you guys let us know as well what you think. Let me just read a couple. Got some cholesterol questions for Kenny for the end, maybe. Terence says our strength is our defense. Shaitanya says, I think from now on we need to give defense a little break, scoring more goals so defense is less under pressure. Peter says strength is defense, midfield wide plays, weakness is in front of goal. Peter also says the strength is the squad and the unity. I think that is a really important one as well. Shaitanya added, Salib is on his way to greatness. Look at his resume, nearly all individual awards achieved. All he needs is major silverware. And I tell you what, he would swap all of those individual awards for the 100%. Premier League title. Boring AFC says, I love the tough defensive approach. Opposition teams can't and don't know how to break us down. We're playing chess while everyone is still playing checkers.
Yeah,
the game
Thing said that on I think it is Riafel Samaraf said that on Sunday Supplement. Exactly the same thing that comment said. It's up to the other teams to work out how to stop us with it.
A couple more here. Jonathan says, to be honest, we're not the most entertaining watch this year. I don't care. Just win the league. And here it is. Yeah, the opposition are allowing us the creative outlet. So comments from our listeners there. Let's get stuck into weaknesses, Kenny. I think we saw some phases of weakness this season at different times. What's your take on the weakness front, Kenny?
Well, the thing about it is that they weren't really apparent. Obviously, there were situations where, if you look at it from the goals point of view, the front three are not gelling as much as we'd like. But what's happening is that we're able to sort of like tire out the opposition, because of the fact that we always, got options of the bench. We can win it late. But I think what we found in the new year is that I think since the Sunderland game, that we're kind of fallible. What I've learned from the Sunderland onwards is that our biggest Achilles heel is teams who do the three basics right, in my opinion. For instance, good on the ball, very organised, bit of strength. The Liverpool game illuminated our weaknesses. And I think the Nottingham Forest, to a lesser extent, but definitely the Liverpool game, because you think about the game at Highbury, Liverpool had the strength, had the big lads, and went, oh my God, they're big boys. They're up for the physical battle, running their sleeves up. And then when I saw them on the ball, and when I saw the organisation, we still struggle against those kind of teams. And I think anyone would do, but I think we do struggle. And I think where Albert says, you will struggle against teams like that if you move the ball slowly, if someone's holding the ball too long, because at the end of the day, the opposition doesn't have to move. I always say, if an opposition's that well organised, get them to areas they don't want to be in. Don't make it easy for them. The best way to actually disrupt the opposition and disorganise them is move the ball quickly. That's sometimes we do struggle to do that. And I think when you think about Martin's performances, remember we had a discussion with you, Sophie, last year when I said, you know what, he's got credit in the bank. That's not the case this season. And Mikel Arteta, remember, he left him against Leeds. He's substituting him in games. He's not even completing 70 minutes. It's 60 minutes, off you go, mate. And Could it be down to injury? Could it be down to the fact that he's saving himself for the World Cup? Because there's a lot of things that I've seen with Martin. He's not brave anymore. There was an instance since Brentford where it was an 70-30 ball in his favour.
Yeah.
And somehow Henderson won it. And I thought, hang on, and maybe he's thinking about the World Cup, respecting him. I can understand that. But there's certain aspects of his game where the things we're praising him for, the pressing, that's not there. It hasn't been there for a while now. And then we talk about getting close to, the front three, especially the Saka. That's not happening. He's trying to come too deep. And what's happening now is that he's basically like taking one of the plugs out of the vending machine. So the vending machine's malfunctioning a lot, and he's not moving as smoothly as previously. And I think there's a situation where you've got to come to, as much as you like Martin Odegaard, you have to accept that his best days were in 23-24. That's 2 seasons ago.
I think he's
flat for now at this team. But let me.
Has he reached the end of the? If he's reached the end of the wall, or do we look at the end of the season and think, you know what, thanks, mate, you've been a fantastic service for us, but now we've won the league. God, hopefully, we need to go that next level.
It happens.
Here's what I believe, you guys. Right? It's okay to outgrow players. Right? It's so funny because just 2 or 3 weeks ago, every Arsenal fan, I say every loosely, a lot of Arsenal fans were talking about Jesus, the second coming. Ever since Havertz has been back, there's no talk about Jesus. And when Gyökeres scored in the Champions League the way he did, people laid off on the Jesus thing. Now it's like, oh, so Jesus now is surplus to requirements. The other thing too is that I don't think you just become a totally shit player like that, like overnight. What happened to Dele Alli needs to be examined as part of a media course in university, right? Because that is a shocking anomaly. The way he fell off, because there was for a season or two where he was one of the best young players in the world. All right, there's no doubt about it. I don't think Martin Odegaard has become a shit player overnight.
He hasn't. But sometimes you got to remember he was subject to big level football at 15. They signed him. Loads of them signed at 15. All right. So you think about there's some young players who start off young and then they hit a wall.
Sterling.
You see it with Sterling. We see it with Sterling. We saw it with Mark Owen, and that could happen to Martin Odegaard. The thing is that if Arsenal want to get to that level where they never, you got to remember with Arsenal, as much as we're loving this season, we've gone 6 years without winning trophies. We went 9 years under Wenger. We went 8 years twice. 8 years between 79 and 87. 71 to 8, 79, we didn't win anything. And then from 53 to 70, we didn't win anything. So if we want to be a team that is really serious and befit the big name, the big club that we think we are, you've got to have the situation where you have to be ruthless. You have to evolve, but you have to stay at the top and challenge winning trophies and win trophies. And sometimes you have to be ruthless. Paisley was ruthless. Sir Alex is ruthless.
Yeah.
And these are long-term managers we're talking about. And Wenger was, at times, at his best, he was ruthless. And sometimes you look at some players and you say, I can't wait for Martin to get back into form, especially since it's been 2 years. And
he did. He came on against Newcastle and won us that game. Like, where's that guy gone?
Because it's cameos. And sometimes when a player isn't at his best, you see cameos. We've seen that with Bukayo Saka this season. We don't want to talk about it because that's one of the 10 commandments. The 7 deadly sins. Don't analyse Bukayo Saka because he's our main man, and rightly so, he has been. But he's not playing well. Neither is Martin. We're in this situation in spite of Bukayo and in spite of Martin. And then we've got to move further forward because there's a conundrum with our strikers. But let's start with Martin.
Can I get it? It's embarrassing to be dragged off as captain after 55 minutes. So, Mikey B, these are strange conversations at the strangest times. I love this conversation. This is brilliant conversation. This is, I don't know what you want, Mikey, but I think you're being maybe your usual sarcastic self. Okay, let me get a few comments up before you jump in on this one, Albert. Okay, I just wanted to. Jonathan says weakness is spontaneous attacking play. Terence said we need one player who isn't so adaptive to Arteta's tactics and allowed attacking freedom. Big Caesar, all the great successful teams have been built on having a solid back unit and a solid keeper. Ryan says we need to open up a bit, allow attack to attack. I believe the midfield and defense have got us regardless. Misunderstood Ninja. Odegaard, best ball controller on the pitch, second to none. Mike Feinberg. Odegaard is in poor form. That's not a reason to strip the armband off him. Leadership comes in many forms. Forms is only one of them. Country Budmon says, as a football coach myself, I can fully relate to when you give your players certain instructions, but they still do something else due to what they think is best in the moment. It's highly frustrating. A couple more. Due to the high line press, we are very vulnerable to a bad pass anywhere on the pitch, says Demsek about our weaknesses. And Eugene Talks Football says, big up the panel. This weekend is crucial for the title race. We've got to do the job against Sunderland. We'll get into all of that, and I'll keep your comments going up on screen. Albert, you wanted to jump in, and then after this, we'll bring Mike in for a little bit, and then we will carry on with opportunities and threats.
Yeah, I won't bore you guys to tears too much about.
No, bore us.
But no, I think what harms him is it's not just a recent thing with Martin Odegaard in terms of being hooked. Like you said, Sophie, players don't become bad overnight. But I think my thing with him, and I'm talking about his entirety in an Arsenal shirt, not just talking about this season. Do I think his level is going to get higher than what it is? And I don't think it will. Sometimes players can just flatline. Football's tough, man. It's you've got to make some tough decisions, and that's on Mikel that he's bought him off, because I would hazard a guess he brings him off the amount of times he's bought him off in an Arsenal shirt is because he's not impacting games.
Yeah, I mean Bergkamp used to get subbed a lot.
Yeah.
I mean, it is part of football, but I don't believe. I still think Odegaard has a part to play in this team, and if it means coming off the bench, that's fine. He accepts it too. I did mention Kenny gingerly after the show at the weekend, and I wanted to say it very carefully. It's that time of year where there's going to be a lot of players who don't go to a World Cup all the time, or don't go to big tournaments all the time, who are going to want to protect themselves. I'm not saying Martin is doing that.
Got the greatest respect for that, because you think about it.
I do too.
But you think about it. Albert, me and Sophie are a little bit older than you, but you probably have a scant memory of the 80s. Me and Sophie brought up in the 80s, and we were teenagers in the 80s, and we came out to the 90s. If you think about World Cup, and it coming every 4 years, our greatest example was Brian Robson. Remember Brian Robson?
Yeah.
What a player.
What a player he was. Bobby Robson used to go to Ron Atkinson and Sir Alex Ferguson, please, can you give him a break? I need my player. Because Brian Robson just
injured.
He was injury prone because he gave every game for Man United. So it didn't matter whether there was a World Cup in Mexico in '86 or a World Cup in Italia in '90. He gave everything.
He played with that broken shoulder at one point too, didn't it? Clavicle.
Yeah. So he'll go to tournaments half fit, and he never used to finish tournaments.
He didn't, man.
But that's Brian Robson. So I understand Martin Odegaard doing it, but when you captain Arsenal, remember Brian Robson's captain Man United, the biggest club in at time world football. They're desperate to knock Liverpool off their perch, as Sir Alex Ferguson is saying, and he's giving everything Man United. Martin Odegaard, Norway captain, don't get that often, but he's Arsenal captain. There's a conundrum there. I respect it, but he's Arsenal captain.
Yeah,
it'd be interesting so depending on what happens, it'd be interesting to see how this plays out with he could have an upturn, but what I'm seeing at the moment I'd be worried for him personally.
Okay, so for me, one of the weaknesses I think that is really prevalent and has been in seasons past is mentality. And I feel like we're very different this season. Mikel feels different. Losing to Man United, I know that people are going to think I'm insane. I think it might be one of the best things that happened to us this season, because it brought back pain for any generational member of the Arsenal community who remembers the drubbings and the bitch slappings and the Manchester United darts being thrown at us year after year after year, that
So
rivalry is real.
I love
Yeah.
your flight, but can I ask you 2 seconds? Are you because I don't see Man United as my rivals. I see Tottenham. Maybe it's just sort of like Finsbury Park boy in North London. I've only learnt. You know that time we lost Man, I finally understood how you feel about Man United, but I never did that.
I
But
think so.
you grew up with Man United in your family. I can tell you now categorically, and I've told this story in podcasts. It's going to be a short one. Grew up in Islington, born in 1972, went to primary school in the 80s. Obviously, went it's late 70s and 80s. Obviously, teenage years in the 80s, secondary school, and obviously university 90s. I never met a Man United fan. In Islington, where I grew up on the outskirts of Haringey, when I was deep into North Islington, it was Arsenal, a few Liverpool, but it was Tottenham. So I didn't feel the rivalry for Man United. The Drabans, well, yeah, they're better than us. But I get from yourself, because you've got a Man United in your family, and for other people that it's now I'm from it was Christ the King in Tottenham Park and St. Aloysius and Archway. But yeah, Highbury Grove was our rivals. But I never met any Man United fans. No, I don't feel the rivalry.
Okay, so I guess a little bit different for me, because my dad is a Manchester United fan. My sister is a Manchester United fan, and my sister's daughter is a United fan. My brother is a Tottenham fan. So people keep saying to me, how the bloody hell did this happen to your family? Right. And my dad came over in the 50s from Cyprus. He's working as a waiter at the Ambassador Club in London, and players are coming in there. And Manchester United was the it team. And like many men, of his generation at that time, he thought George Best was just so cool and a great player. And, he gravitated to United. And then my sister, who's older than me, and then when I was growing up, I've told the story on Squaddies before. I loved watching Liverpool play. Albert, they were who didn't, like, when you were growing up, that was quite the team to watch playing football. And that's when my cousins grabbed me and my uncle Zach, and he was like, "You're a Londoner. Why do you like?" And so so Manchester United I had to sit there and eat shit for so long.
Yeah. It's true.
I had to just sit and listen and be like those Premier League 4:00 Sunday games with Andy Gray and Richard Keys and all those games. And we would never get the best of them until the Thierry Henry era came in, and we built that rivalry. That rivalry, they can try and recreate a rivalry between City and Liverpool. There is no rivalry like that rivalry with Manchester United. And that's why it all came back, Albert. It brought, and we lost to them, and it was the first time I'd felt that in years.
No, because I know how much you despise them. So it's different for me, because obviously you guys know where I'm based. I'm South East London. So either for me growing up, it's actually either Millwall or I was around Liverpool fans, which was crazy to me. I live in South London, but it was Liverpool. So that's where, when we play them every season, why I'm so desperate for us to go and win at Anfield, because it means more to me personally. Yes, don't get me wrong, I hate Tottenham and some of the other London clubs we play, but it's always been a thing for me with Liverpool. Always has been, always will be.
And I think, like some of the squaddies are saying in the chat, like Tottenham, like the geographical thing, there was a time, let's admit, and I said this to him when I first met him, when he became US men's national team coach. I'm sorry, but the Pochettino years, that was scary.
They're better than us. The level's above us. We're factional.
That was a scary time to be an Arsenal fan, wasn't it, Kenny?
It was.
It was horrible, because you think there's perversely, there's actually similarities between this team and the Poch side. You think about it. Saliba, Gabriel, Vertonghen, and Alderweireld.
Yeah.
Danny Rose at left back, either Walker or Trippier at right back.
Yep.
Then you look at the midfield, Ericsson. There were times when it was Dembele.
Moussa Dembele, yeah.
Moussa Dembele. There's Wanyama, big lad. You know what I mean? A bit of creativity. Harry Winks, Song and Kane. Come on, Song and Kane.
Unbelievable.
And there were times, there's a period between 2015 and 2018, they amassed the most points total without winning the league. We've done that you look at it from about 23 up until now, we amassed the most points total, but we haven't won the league.
It's crazy.
It's actually scarily similar, but they were levels above us. And
they
would
were.
never admit it.
We spoke about this briefly yesterday. Like, I don't know, but when they won that semi-final against Ajax, I've never felt like that in my life. The way they won that game and the ramifications that could have been if it did happen. Even recently, Sophie, I'm so glad PSG beat them in the Super Cup because they've got a better European record than us.
They do, 100%. They do, and I don't care what anyone says. The Europa League trophy. You know, old school Arsenal would have been happy with that in the 90s, that Europa League trophy. I'd take it.
We actually showed that the rivalry is still prevalent, still relevant, because for something that was nothing to do with us, there was a lot of Arsenal fans who were pretty mad and worked up about Spurs winning in Seville last year. It had nothing to do with it. I was furious. Absolutely furious.
We spoke about it, Kenny Kim. We spoke about it.
You were furious. I think you were furious as well. And I said, hang on here. How can you get angry about something that's nothing to do with you? It's because it's them. They're for us too. 4-2 Spurs.
I know generational fans who had a huge argument and fell out over it because the Generation X fan could not understand why the millennial fan wasn't bothered about Tottenham winning a European trophy. They just didn't understand it. And I do think I was on a show, I think Albert maybe had been on it, with Rory Talks Football. Never been on a show with him before.
Have you been in a show with him since then?
Huh?
No.
Have you been in any shows with him since then?
He's on Dan's channel.
No, I haven't.
It's on Dan's,
So anyway, look, you know, I have total respect for content creators who create content and do well. It is not easy running a YouTube channel, and it's certainly not easy building up followers on TikTok and other platforms. And a lot of young Arsenal fans have gravitated to TikTok, and there's hot takes and there's content that is 3 minutes, 5 minutes. I mean, I'm Greek. I can't get anything out to you guys in 5 minutes. Okay. This is why this show today is probably going to take us up to like an hour and 45 easy. And then I'll do Dan's show after and talk for another 2 hours. Sorry, Lee's show. It's a Lee show tonight. So yeah, I mean, he literally poo-pooed the Carabao Cup.
Yep.
On that show.
Word for word.
And I couldn't accept it. And it was just the arrogance of, because look, I know, because I'll say this now, he's not at the club anymore. I had a conversation with Tim Lewis, and Tim Lewis told me specifically that Arsenal's targets were the Premier League and the Champions League. That is the goal, right? The holy grail to bring in those two. But I also think that winning starts somewhere. You have to build a culture, and I say that over again on the show. And you know, you want to shoot for the stars, you land on the moon first. This Carabao Cup could be the vehicle and the roadmap to the Premier League title. After they win this, it changes everything, right? And I just didn't understand that. And I do think it's a generational thing.
I might share with that. And you got to remember one thing as well. If you sort of like go into like the zeitgeist of 1987, beating Liverpool in that Lewis Cup final, Chinese getting both the goals. 2 years later, we won the league. 2 years after that, we won the league again. So you think about the core of that side. You know, the actual challenge for the league in '89 was actually built on that day on the 4th of April in '87 at Wembley when we beat Liverpool that day. That was springboard to it, and you only have to look at Jose Mourinho's first trophy was the League Cup. Pep Guardiola's was the League Cup. It's right. You have to have a title. You have to be able to lift the cup. You know, have side strays, as Wood Hullick says. That's stride strains.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. Absolutely. Have a situation where you really do need to use deodorant. That's all I'm gonna say.
Yes.
Like, because you want those sweaty arms lifted all the time.
Has Mike had a shower?
I'm starting
find
to
out.
think your background is not real, Kenny, because your arms keep disappearing, and I've seen those biceps, and now I can't see them.
Well,
Michael.
we're taking a SWOT analysis break in between. We've done our strengths and our weaknesses, and many of those will circle around when we talk about opportunities and threats as well. So we take this break to bring you a special announcement. Mike, are you alive? How are your feet? For those of you who were living under a rock yesterday on World Cancer Day, Mike for Gooners versus Cancer did a London stadium walk. I know he was joined by a number of other Gooners. I think it was a 50-mile walk. He's going to tell us. He came on the show. This one, Tom's, Dan's, spoke about it. How did it go, Mike? And how are you feeling this morning?
You just reminded me of the one person I need to remember to thank that I forgot. So I'm not gonna say which one of those it is.
Was it Tom or Dan? I'm going to say you forgot Dan.
It was one of them.
I forgot. You forgot Dan, didn't you? Did you forget Potsy?
How could you forget Potsy? It was the 5 other people that were ranting and talking absolute bollocks on his show that that made me forget it. But
oh my God! Yesterday I tuned in to watch because my boys were on here, and I always like to watch them. And then there's this guy on there called Stricto. Is that his name?
He wasn't on this time. It was what was the guy's name from Spurs? You guys know who I'm talking about, Deji.
Oh,
that was some insane stuff. But we're not here to talk about.
We're not. No, but that Stricto guy, man, I tell you, mute button. Carry on, Magic.
Just an amazing day, and yes, I am still alive. I am doing much better mentally and emotionally than I am physically. Let's put it that way. Haven't left the apartment today. May not leave tomorrow.
Are you in the Highbury apartment?
Yeah. Yep. This is the North Bank right behind me. It's if you remember the North Bank oven and the North Bank air fryer.
I stood in the North Bank.
Back from the 80s. Kenny Ken remembers.
With the North Bank. Highbury. Do it.
I always have a problem when I'm in the clock end.
I believe no one sang the clock end bit. Go on, carry on.
I was in the clock end, though. That's why
I can't sing the clock end. I'm a North Bank guy, so whenever I'm in the clock end, I just have
we're clocking, Highbury.
We're the East Stand. We're the East Stand.
Sorry, Mike.
Go on. Sorry, Mike. You get me excited because I love that you have the apartment at Highbury. It's just fantastic. Go on.
I could not be more pleased to be. This is definitely the first time that I've been on with all 3 of you. My birthday brother, Albert Mann, and of course my dear Sophie. It is so good to see you. Happy belated birthday to the man. Who Jake said, my son Jake, who I don't know where he got his cheesy personality from, but he said, because he looked at the weather forecast a few days ago, and he's like, Wednesday looks great, but the 3 days leading up and like the 5 days after look absolute shit. And I'm like, as long as Wednesday is good. And so he says Kevin on his birthday was looking down on you guys because without the dry, crisp, sunny day yesterday, I don't know how this could have gone off if it was pouring rain like it was Sunday. And
so you walked 50 miles. What stadiums? Where did you start, and then which stadiums did you go to? So,
well, first let me just say,
which shitholes did you stop at?
Be careful what you say. Well, I lived by one of them stadiums.
Yes, well, and I was looking around for you, but I didn't see you. So. Before I say that, I just want to say this was not an idea from me. This was not a Gooners versus Cancer idea. This was a We Can Kick It idea, and We Can Kick It is just an amazing charity. Now we raise money, and we have been incredibly supported in raising money, but we don't do anything with that money. And there are so many charities who need funds, who raise funds, accept grants from other organizations like Gooners versus Cancer. And in this case, we partnered with We Can Kick It, which is founded by Adrian Conaboy. He is a Gooner. He is from North London. He now lives in New York, and he is a cancer survivor. and he founded a charity that recognizes that, you know, it's not just the person going through cancer. It's not just the desire to rid this earth of this disease through research and cures. It's giving support to people who are already in it, who are dealing with it, family members, kids, parents of people with cancer. And just like the Kevin Campbell Foundation provides opportunities to folks who may not have the same advantages financially and location-wise to get discovered and play football, this provides fun and distracting, you know, opportunities to folks who are just going through awful times in life, and it just gives them, you know, football clinics and tournaments and experiences. So I could not love more supporting other great causes.
Yeah,
whether
that's
they have
great.
anything to do with cancer or not. You just want to be involved. And when I learned about this last year, it was a 7-stadium 40-mile tour, and I didn't do it, but I made a mark that said, I'm going to try. I'm going to do everything I can to be part of it in 2026. And, you know, actually followed through for once on one of my ideas.
I understand our chief like officer joined you. Is that correct? Our chief like officer was the steward. Is that right? Or no? No.
Well, no, I believe I saw Tammy.
Okay.
But no.
Okay.
And
well, where'd you go? Where'd you start? And by the way, before that, Fulham let you walk on the pitch, didn't they?
They did. That was
did Arsenal let you walk on the pitch?
No, but we weren't expecting that.
Okay.
So I'll tell you the story about that. But it started in Brentford after about 90 minutes of sleep after the Chelsea game the night before, which, I was torn about that Chelsea game, but I don't come all the way here not to watch a semifinal. So got to do the Live from N5 pregame show, which was pretty cool. Slept an hour and a half and showed up at Brentford at 5:30 in the morning, joined the rest of the crew. There was about 12 of us that were walking. And before sunrise, we went to Brentford, to Loftus Road, then to Fulham, where we had arranged a Magic Michael Jackson statue outside of Fulham. But we'd arranged with them that they would kind of let us in and take pictures on or near the pitch. And when we arrived, the security had not been told that we were supposed to be there. So we spent about 15 minutes kind of arguing, bargaining, whatever. And we were getting ready to leave to head to Stamford Bridge, and they came chasing us down and said, we finally got in touch with the guy. So we're walking on the pitch, taking pictures. That was kind of cool. Brilliant. I mean, Craven Cottage is whatever you feel about Fulham, they're not one of those rivals that we were just talking about, and their stadium.
No, but it's always fun going to Fulham. I mean, it's so unique, the whole setup over there as well. It's fun.
It is. And getting on the pitch was very unique.
So then what happened?
From there, it was Stamford Bridge, where the lovely Stephanie joined me. Not on the walk, but basically at each stop from that point on to, bring me support and socks and gloves and Monster Zeros and all that. And from Chelsea, then it got long. I had to walk to Palace from there. From
Stamford Bridge to Selhurst Park.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, that's a long stretch.
Yeah, it's about 9 miles. And the highlight of it for me was walking by Tooting Beck, which I recorded a little video saying Tooting Beck is my third favorite Beck, behind just ahead of Jeff Beck, just behind Ruth Beck, and of course
Rebecca.
Mal Beck. Oh yeah, Becca Lowe.
Ruth Beck.
Yeah, Ruth Beck. She took a number 2 spot, but she understood it because Mal Beck has got to be number 1. But yeah,
that's
so
a long
went
walk.
to Palace, then another 7 miles to I think the place Albert was talking about, the Den. Outside
that's
Millwall.
A sweet little walk. That's a nice little number there, going from the Den, going from Selhurst to the Den.
I know.
We actually went through and past the actual Crystal Palace area rather than the part that people think is the Crystal Palace area. Up to Millwall, then about a 4-mile walk along the river-ish to Charlton. Then from Charlton, doubling back, going through the Greenwich Foot Tunnel to West Ham.
Yeah.
West Ham to Spurs to Arsenal. And
is that where you threw up? once you got to Spurs?
No, I threw up in my sink over there once. Well, yeah, no. I had other bodily functions that occurred when I got to Spurs, but
Yeah, we don't need to talk about those. Well, that's amazing.
So, and you know, the physical stuff was strong, the weather was strong, but once we left West Ham, by this point it's dark. And if you've ever walked from West Ham to
the train station, to the anywhere?
No. Along the canal. I forget what, it's like the Lea River. There's a canal and a park, and you walk about 5 or 6 miles. It's dark. There's no street lights. A couple of us got separated just because of walking at different paces. We knew that would happen. So I'm walking through this
cold
park
along there. It's so cold
in the dark. It's getting cold. I'm all alone. I'm walking through a park in South Tottenham where there are like 2 or 3 dogs not on leads that are just coming up and sniffing. I'm like, this might be where I die. But fortunately,
wow, you survived the den, and then you're gonna die like in a little.
and this is the only time I'll ever say this. Fortunately, I got through that area and made it into South Tottenham, where I fell on the ground trying to take a picture of like this truck that had. I mean, it was a very Jewish area, so I found that interesting and amusing, and took a picture, fell back on someone's open gate, and so it was an absolute shit show.
Mike is Jewish, just so everyone knows. He's not just randomly driving around London taking pictures of Jewish.
I just assumed that was built. Yeah, sorry.
Yeah. No, it's great. Well,
I mentioned gefilte fish earlier in the show, so I figured that was out
okay. This is a great report, and you were happy with the money raised, and where people can still raise.
It's still ongoing, but in the weeks leading up, thanks to you and thanks to everybody that has helped to promote this, Dan Potts especially, I mean, more than anyone else. We've raised $15,000, which is about
wow, magic! Wow. That's amazing.
And we're still going. We're going to be fundraising before the game at Sunderland. We've got signs that are hopefully still up at a lot of the local pubs and restaurants in the area. They've been incredible partners. And Arsenal Football Club, I have to say, you know, and we talk about the football a lot. And Sophie, Kenny, and Albert, you all have heard me privately talk about how the football is important to me, but not nearly the most important thing about being a Gooner. It's the family, it's the community, it's the support, it's the love, it's the people that you would never otherwise meet or have anything in common with, if not for this central kind of, you know, reference point of the Arsenal. And the football club yesterday stepped up between publicizing it the night before on the evening of the Chelsea game to a couple of members of staff meeting us at the stadium at 10:30 at night, including a large green dinosaur.
I saw that picture.
That was great. Welcomed us down into the tunnel, kind of along the tour route, which I've been on many times before, into the dressing room, through the players' tunnel, onto the pitch, through the Tom Canton media section, and just got some good footage there. I'm working on getting a lot of like organized stuff out there, but it's
this section now, is it?
Yeah, it was.
It's brilliant.
It was such a great way to finish off the day. And then I literally went into physical shock. I started shaking. I almost fainted. I could not have gotten home to Highbury from the Emirates if it was not for Steph. And up until about an hour ago, I was just in the bath for like 24 hours. But amazing stuff.
Magic. Honestly, the podathons are great, but what you did this year,
amazing.
Amazing.
We don't call you Magic Mike for nothing, mate.
Reason,
and also, what a great, I mean, it's a healthy thing to do for, you know, as well. And it's such a good cause. 15 Gs. That is such an amazing achievement.
You've each known me for more than 4 years. And think about where I was 4 years ago.
I've known you for about 11 years, mate.
Are you joking? 4 years?
I said you've all known me for at least 4 years. I didn't say only 4 years. Just 4 years ago.
Saved you from Granit Xhaka, dude. 10 years ago, I saved you in LA.
I wasn't saying we just met 4 years ago. I'm saying 4 years ago. I was
no, I get it. I'm just giving you shit.
Piece of garbage. I was enormous. I was unhealthy. I was making poor decisions. You know, and didn't want that to be, the legacy that I eventually leave. And so folks like you, folks like Kevin, who really inspired me to kind of, start making some better decisions, maybe podcast a little bit less and, podcast, eat and drink a little bit less, hug and enjoy a little bit more and get in better shape. And
the podcasting a little bit less has definitely had a effect on you. And I'm sure you enjoyed the first part of our show, which was us talking about cholesterol and metabolism and all that type of stuff. Okay, this is brilliant. So people can still donate. The Gooners pod at goonersvcancer.com. Mike, it's an amazing achievement. Well done to you. We appreciate you so much. We thank you for everything that you do in the community. And, it takes a guy from America to go to London and do the stadium walk.
Because that's exactly how I talk. You got me.
You're just home in time for the Super Bowl.
Bang out of order, Sophie.
This is a football, because I know that's all not important at the moment, but are you going to be at the game on Saturday?
I was just about to ask and make sure that the two of you. I know Sophie, might be difficult to get over in 2 days. But
what about are you going to make a voyage via Vauxhall to Kew Bridge next week?
To Kew Bridge, yes, I will be.
Oh, you managed to secure a brief, did you?
You know exactly how and why I'm going there, and if you're going to be joining me, that means we're going to score at least 2 or 3 goals, because I need them hugs from Kenny Ken after the goal.
We better make sure we next to each other again.
Yeah, exactly.
Remember Spurs? We were right.
People thought I lost weight because I stopped eating. I lost weight because Kenny squeezed me so hard after those goals.
Word of warning to everyone in the chat. You don't want to be around me if we score a big goal in a big game. Don't sit next to me.
Anyone who has ever, for any reason,
give the best
that Kenny does, Kenny's got mixed
I'm
emotions.
I'm overly enthusiastic. I actually thought I killed someone at Leicester last year, and he reminded me he was old.
10 stone came just flying out of my ear holes and my mouth. It just, when you hugged me, it was like, and here I am.
If you run into Kenny at the Tollington, put your drink down, water, beer, whatever it is, put it down before you get the hug. Because
remember that time when I was putting your drink.
Sweet.
I did that to Dan Potts' mother.
I know. I was there.
Albert was there.
One thing about it is, if you
every time we see her since, I think she's actually more sick of it than I am. But it gets brought up every single time. You put
in me drink, Mike. What about that thing? Remember that time when I was at my butt and I had a black coloured lemonade, and I looked at it and I thought, "What's that in there?"
These are actually the stories.
It was shocking what I found in me drink when I turned.
Oh my God! That was on the very day that we met Super Kev. It was early.
I'd like you to correct this. I'd like you to correct what you put in.
It was candy, but it was in a shape that we won't mention on the.
Sure.
What was that? A
so juvenile. I love it. By the way, these are the stories that listeners really love. Like when you mention, well, we talked about that in our WhatsApp group, and I get messages saying, I want to be in your WhatsApp group. They can't be in this one, but I'm thinking about doing a Highbury Squad WhatsApp group.
I've got room for 41 more WhatsApp groups.
But when someone sent to me the other day, another group, and I said, no, I'm not doing it. I'm not doing another WhatsApp group. And also, my biggest fear.
You have to give up on that after a while.
It happened. I know this has happened to somebody that I know very, very well, because the problem is you're writing in a few groups and then you'll write something.
Oh, you're writing the wrong group.
Before you know it, you've written it in the wrong group.
And
it's really, now, Albert, it's not just the wrong one. It's bad. It's really bad.
Jesus. Oh, dear.
I've done that, and then you erase it, but you're not sure whether
you erase it
time or not. And then
people have seen it. It's too late.
No, I'm telling you, these are 3 people that I would have never met if it wasn't for this community, and some of the greatest times of my life, 1% of which we've gone into in the last 20 minutes, have come from hugs from all 3 of you, from laughs and and candy, body parts, and drinks.
Make sure you're there in May. Make sure you're there in May. You've got no excuses.
I've already booked the trip. I've already booked the trip. Now we just have to make sure that I don't, end up having to cancel it, and that's kind of out of our control. So
in May, mine will be a 11th hour. I'm lucky. My brother works for an airline, so I could just get a ticket.
I don't know.
Mike, is that via Budapest? Is it by any chance? Maybe.
Well, that is still to be determined, but I've actually got to fly home.
I don't think we should be planning any parades right now. I feel very uncomfortable.
I've been to Budapest. Don't go.
Let's talk about Budapest.
But I've been to Budapest with me. It was my fiance, but she's now my wife. Whatever you do,
that's good.
You guys be all right. Sophie and Mike.
Usually the way it goes.
Albert, people like me and you don't go in the Roman baths. Just don't do it. Don't go to the Roman baths.
Did you say I? This is something I do. Is that what you?
No, you be fine. You might be fine in Budapest.
I can't figure out what he means by that, but
don't do it.
Oh my God, you guys are funny. Okay, well, this has been fun, and thanks, Mike, for popping in.
Was that a good halftime show there? Was that
was a good halftime show?
Bad Bunny,
let me tell you something. Bad Bunny's got nothing on you, baby. Nothing on you. That was elite level Lady Gaga performance. And Eminem, Jay-Z, that year where all the rappers came on together. It was brilliant. When it was in California, I loved that. Jokes aside, by the way, I can't name you one Bad Bunny song. I'd lose. I can't name you one Bad Bunny song.
Yeah, that's true.
I have no idea.
Well,
I'm old school. I'm old school. I just, can't we just get Fleetwood Mac to perform, or can't we just bring
Can you imagine the Super Bowl 60 halftime show with James Taylor?
All right. Well, we've got to wrap up with our opportunities and threats. So we're going to let you go, Magic, and we appreciate you coming. Go get some rest, and we'll catch up again soon. At ease.
Thank you. I hope to see you both on Saturday. I love you all. Thank you, squaddies, for your support, your donations, and just for being in my life. So appreciate it, man.
Take care, Magic. We love you lots. Take care. That's Magic Mike there from the Gooners pod at Gooners versus Cancer as well. You can still donate. It's not over. Please go over to the website. Reach out to Mike on Instagram as well if you want to. And if you need to, you need help with anything, we're here too, the highburysquad@gmail.com. That was a nice little break. We carry on now and we go to our phase 3 of our SWOT analysis, and it's opportunities. There's nothing more I love, Kenny, than a good opportunity. Talk to me.
Well, the opportunities, what we talk. If you're talking about the opportunities, is we're still carefully placed in the Champions League. We're 6 points ahead of our rivals in the league. The FA Cup, we got Wigan. Arrogance is going to overcome me, and it's going to sort of like take over my life when we play Wigan, but we will beat Wigan. That arrogance I should be afforded. And then you've got the Carabao Cup final, where it's anyone could play. They've got the 2 best teams in the country, where it's highly likely that both teams are going to be looking to get to the quarterfinals of the Champions League. They're going to be, you never know, both teams may drop points up until the game in March. Yeah. So it could be Arsenal either 3 points behind or still 6 or 7 points ahead. One thing for sure, it's a massive opportunity, but ultimately, Arsenal fans are going to disappoint you on 2 counts. One, it's going to be a battle to win all those trophies, because when you look in the League Cup, we're playing a League Cup. Man City have won it many times. They've got some really good players, especially in attacking areas. Defensively, they're not the best, but a final against a good team, it's 50-50. And then you look at the FA Cup, our record isn't the best, but you're going to play really good teams in the FA Cup. And then the Champions League, and the shape when we win it, but there's so many English clubs in the Champions League, and I do think that there's too many English clubs, and they'll be our biggest Achilles heel. The league is the best opportunity ever, because we're actually built for this league championship. I do think that Arsenal in the league will be the biggest weight off our shoulders, and it will be a situation where every argument you have about the best teams, Arsenal are be the best. There's no dispute. You know, over 38 games, that is the true test of a great side. You can have your debates. You know, we talk about millennial Arsenal fans and pre-millennial Arsenal fans. The millennial Arsenal fans live for the moment. They live for this team. This team wins. You can't begrudge them comparing Saliba and Gabriel to players like Adams and Bowles and Campbell, or you know the attacking players, because they won the league. You have to have the photos. You've got to add the celebrations. The league is what I want more than anything else. But it is a very, very good opportunity. But you've got to remember, we're at a situation where a couple of weeks ago we were looking like we were running on empty, you know, with the injuries. And I think that the football calendar we have at the moment, in terms of like game every 2 or 3 days, the Champions League format as it is, and we're in a competition, it's just fatigue will get us. And I think that our best opportunity is the league, because I think that's what Mikel prioritises over everything else. But it'd be a great, you know, day out if we win the Carabao Cup, the FA Cup, and obviously the Champions League. For me, the league's more important than Champions League. But I do get from your perspective, you want what Liverpool had in Rome and other cities, and Chelsea had in, you know, Munich and Porto, and I get that. But the league's what I need. I need it because I don't think we'll recover as a fan base if we don't win this league. It'll be hard to get over, and it'll be hard to motivate you. You see how you enthusiastically you present this show. I don't think you have anything left if we don't win the league, because it will bring us all down. It will take the life out of all of us.
Sophie, I touched on this yesterday, but it happened obviously in the Highbury Squad, and you had David Hillier on last season, and he said it's hard to go again and push again to try and win a league title when you've gone reasonably close or very close or taken it to the last couple of games or games. It is hard to go again. So I understand what Kenny can say. And this will be, this will be even more colossal.
The achievement to win the league in this era, in this time, I think would be huge. We've got to get the monkey off our back. We can't be 22 years in and still waiting. Now, that doesn't, I hope I don't sound like a privileged kind of complaining fan, because I'm not. I just think that as a institution, you know, Coca-Cola are still number one. You know, they do all the right things, branding, everything. Coca-Cola don't want to not be number one anymore, right? And we've dropped, you know, we're Pepsi, you know, we're Dr. Pepper, and we need to be Coca-Cola this season.
Yeah.
And I know it's not a healthy drink. I don't care my analogy, but that's what we want. And I think the Champions League, the only reason I want to win that, of course, is to win a European trophy. But I don't want to hear the "you'll never sing that, you'll never sing that, you'll never sing that." But the league is the one. And opportunity-wise, and Albert, I'll swing it to you now to hear your opportunities, because Kenny is bang on. We've got to win this league, because the ramifications and the fallout from not will be great. The greatest disaster we've ever seen. Nothing compared to what you've seen in the last 3 seasons. Absolutely nothing. But out of adversity within a season comes opportunity. And I just put a note out saying we'll miss Mikel Merino in the Champions League. One of the things for me with opportunity is Mikel's injured, but it's an opportunity for another player, right? Kai Havertz, this is the biggest opportunity of his career to be a freaking hero, okay? It is. And it's an opportunity for Victor Gyökeres to rise to the challenge and to rise to the moment. And what an opportunity to have Jesus and Victor and Kai all fit at the same time. All three offer something different to Mikel Arteta. You know what? Left back Calafiori's injured, but it's an opportunity for Nkapie to continue growing and shining and moving forward. A player who I wasn't convinced the last 2 games, though. He's shown something. It's an opportunity for Mosquera to like be there for, you know, that defense to be able to step up. It's an opportunity for Trossard and Martinelli to, you know, own that left side and keep doing what. It's an opportunity for everyone, Albert. Everyone.
Yeah, opportunities, early success. We're in a cup final. That's your first trophy you can win. I mentioned it yesterday. We've had conversations together in our group chat and privately or separately. A lot of this squad do not have a reference point of winning trophies. Yeah, the odd game in the Premier League, but in terms of winning silverware, having something tangible, we don't have that. There's an opportunity to change that. And I mentioned this yesterday, Sophie. I'll go back to kind of what I said at the start of the summer transfer window when there were sections of our fan base crying, oh, the City have bought Cherky, they bought Reinders, Liverpool bought Isak and Verts. Who gives a shit? Go and embrace the challenge. You know, we got a cup final, Sophie, the 22nd of March. Don't just win it. Go and break Man City's resolve. Apply the pressure. You know, trophies are not given to you. I said this to Kenny Ken knows. I said this. People talk about, you know, when you make a final, Sophie, or in any sport, the journalists or people ask you, would you prefer to play in the final? Yeah, I do have a preference in the final. I wanted City, and we've got them. Like I said, go and break the resolve. Go and get that winning feeling of winning silverware and build momentum and a winning culture. And you do that by winning big games of football, cup finals. The league, we've got 14 games left, right? We're still in. We've got a cup final, and we're still in two cup. It's still in two cup competitions, i.e., the Champions League and the FA Cup. So there is plenty of opportunity for Mikel to put his faith in maybe some of the players he hasn't done at periods of the season, because we're not even in crunch time yet. Let me be very, very clear. Yeah. We're not even anywhere near squeaky bum time yet. We're only in the first week of February. So there's plenty of games with Kai coming back, Victor, Jesus. There's plenty of opportunity for these guys to impact our season and get to the promised land. So you have to take that opportunity. And just to finish up, Sophie, before I keep going on and on, but I said it to you before and I say it again. That semi-final last season against Newcastle in the semi-final, I was so angry. So I just thought it was so unacceptable, that performance, because you've got a group, and Kenny Ken mentioned it, the key word, a core group of players. They're not children, Sophie and Kenny Ken. Martin Odegaard's 27. Saka and Martinelli, I think, are both 24. Gabriel Magalhaes is 27. You've got a nucleus of this side that have been playing together now with a few additions of Gyökeres and Zubimendi and Madueke. This is the time. You know what they say? The time is now. They're bloody right, it is. But like I said, opportunity, early success, get that, maintain the league form, get that Carabao Cup in the bag. Mikel, utilize your squad, even when you might not want to, and put the onus and apply the pressure and make big decisions.
Albert, excellent. Really good. Very well said. And it does. The opportunity begins with the Carabao Cup. It is the nucleus, and it's a way for us to, you know, move forward in a really positive way. And I think it'll be the making of us this season. As we go into threats, which we don't control, I wanted to ask you guys something quickly. And Ryan, thanks for the reminder. Yes, I am going on the Arsenal arms. I still think I have a few minutes before I have to do that. I love it. I feel uncomfortable talking about him in this way, but it's in a way where he's a man. He's not a boy. He's earned some big bucks recently. He's put this team on his shoulders for seasons. He's special. He's unique. Coming back from this injury, though, Saka has not been the same. And Kenny, where do you sit on the opportunity for me? I think of all the players to kind of have a brilliant end to their season, this final act, Saka is the one. And I know we need him. I don't know. I'm going to say this, Kenny. I think we need him. I know some people ask the question, do we need him as much as we have had in previous seasons? Look what we were able to do without Saka, without Odegaard. Kenny, where do you sit here with the Saka thing?
Well, this is Saka's team. You know, there's there's a lot of things where Mikel talks about unnegotiables. I put a sort of hyphen underneath it and I say undroppables. Saka 100% falls in that category. It's his team. It's like he was the attacking alpha and the alpha and omega. Everything we did really well went through Bukayo Saka. You know, he was, if there was one player who was given license to, you know, create something out of nothing, it is Bukayo. I still think that we are where we are so far, but Albert 100% talks about crunch time, where if Bukayo Saka's at his best, these kind of like tight games, you know, a Carling Cup final, getting further in Europe, and you know, big 6-pointers in games in the Premiership, he's the man that we still are going to rely on. Are still going to need for those general squad situations. Yeah, we've got Madueke, but he's not Saka. Yes, we've got Havertz, but he's not the main man. It's Saka. You talk about Martinelli, and everyone compares Martinelli to Saka, and that's completely untrue. It's laughable in my opinion. Saka's the one that if we are to win something really big, he has to come to the core, because it's only going to get harder. You know, when teams do set up against us, and we are going to need him. His form hasn't been the greatest as such. I do say, with my head held high, that we probably rushed him back too much.
Yep, 1,000%.
For the Champions League last year, Kenny.
Yeah, and it was completely a gamble that has backfired on us this season, because he hasn't been right. Sometimes a player needs to be safe from themselves, and the Rat Army, as we're called, with the all the detestables, as we're called, you know, on Lee's channel.
Are you you're the Hillary Clinton deplorables? Is that what you guys are over there? You deplorables.
The detestable.
Even so, it came from like I said, the position where we want the best for the lad, and that we've seen players rush back from injury and haven't been the same. This, you know, a bad injury to be rushed back was completely understandable, but it actually was harmful to the player, because the player we got now, stop-start injuries. We don't want a situation where his career is about that. Sometimes you've got to think about the long term, and I still think this season we're going to 100% need Bukayo Saka. You know, there's always this conundrum about Bukayo Saka and Gyökeres. Bukayo Saka, before Gyökeres came to the club, was the person most likely to be our top goal scorer. He was our most likely player to get something out, and I think it was our penalty taker.
Yeah,
hasn't changed in his team despite Gyökeres is there. I still think that Bukayo Saka, if he's out for a considerable amount of time, it would be a massive blow. All right, Mourinho would be a blow because he's useful. Yeah. He's a versatile player, but Bukayo Saka's a massive. I think it would create a nervous situation if he's not playing, because he's still the only player who can do something out of the ordinary.
Yeah. And some of his assists, Albert, before you jump in, some of his assists this season have been very, very important, and his delivery from set pieces, as we know. Go on, Albert.
No, just a quick thing. So from touching on what Kenny Ken's saying, in terms of, it's been spoken about Arsenal's attack, and none of our players, I'm talking about Premier League only, in terms of GA, none of them have got double figures. None of them. That includes Saka. And by this time, normally in this part of the season, Saka would comfortably be double figures in both facets, in goals and assists. But I think that just shows in terms of how important he is, and getting back to the kind of form he's shown in the Arsenal and England shirt, to be honest with you. But I agree with the injury thing. If it was down to me, I wouldn't even have brought him back last season. But that's just my opinion. But
he's too important.
I know, I get it. And now you're kind of seeing the kind of the aftermath of it, in terms of like you said, the stop-start. But
what's really interesting, Albert. You mentioned that because, and Kenny talked about the manner in which Martin's come back from injury. I don't think Havertz and Saka have gone hiding since their injury. I think that at times actually there was a Havertz challenge near the right side of the flank against Chelsea in that second leg, and I was like, oh, he's going in for. I was like a little worried for Saka as well. Saka gets battered, man. That guy gets no protection. Keith Hackett said it on this show. They give him no protection. Albert, I think that Havertz and Saka have come back fighting, whereas Martin's come back fearful.
Yeah, because I think I think for me with Martin Odegaard, definitely for the first time I've seen it where as they say in football, sometimes you get the ump, and when you're hooked as many times as he is, and you're not playing at the level you're playing at. And I thought it was interesting, Sophie, with Martin Odegaard, when Mikel made sort of the comments about, you know, he doesn't kind of really tell him to pick up the ball deep. And I just thought that's quite a strange thing to say, because he's been doing that in an Arsenal shirt for quite a long time. So if it's an instruction that you don't want him to do that, and he's less effective in the side, then why is he doing it?
It's a great question. It's a really good question. Okay, let's wrap up with our threats. You know, and I think the key one here is probably one that we all have on our list. But Kenny, the threats, the things we can't control, nothing Mikel can control or the club can control. The biggest threats to Arsenal between now and May.
You know what? The biggest threat to Arsenal is Arsenal themselves.
Yeah, I've got that down. Yeah.
We're our biggest rivals. We're on the cusp of success, but the fact is that,
and yet we can control that, but we don't. Go on.
Because at the end of the day, the biggest threat to us is the football calendar. It's an absolute. It's absolute unforgiving to the extent that it's game after game after game. It makes it doubly difficult to win any, do a double, let alone the quadruple.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. But the fact is that we've been in positions where we looked unbeatable, but we're in a situation where, as much as we're winning well and playing well, it's the mentality, the outside noise. We could deal with that. Who's the biggest threat to us? Man City. But they're dropping points, aren't they?
Yeah, and they will do.
If we drop points and Man City drop points, we can't. That's probably our title. But it's a situation where injuries, biggest threat to what we do.
That's it.
Because with the sort of like volume of games and the intensity of those games, coupled with the volume, injuries will occur. We're going to have more injuries whether we like it or not.
Kenny, I'm just looking at some of the games. If I can find it, where's it gone? So Sunderland Saturday, 5 days later Brentford, 3 days later Wigan, 3 days later Wolves, Spurs 4 days later, and then Chelsea. I think there's a week between the Chelsea game, I think, at home.
And then you've got the FA Cup after that as well.
Yeah. Thick and fast, man.
I mean, between going to the EFL Cup final, we play Everton at home, Brighton away, Chelsea at home, Tottenham away. We play Brentford away, and we play Sunderland at home. And we've got the FA Cup sandwiched in between that. Yeah, I mean, it's that Wolves game is maybe one where you say, how many risks do you take? But that's where you rest.
And that's down to Mikel. Yeah.
And that's not a threat because he's got control over that.
Yeah.
But like how Man City perform, we can't control that.
No.
How injuries happen, we can't control that. All you can do is control what you do. And I have stopped looking at other games. I wasn't interested in the Man City game against Tottenham until Tottenham scored, and I was like, "Oh, this is interesting."
I had a good excuse. I was out enjoying some.
We watched
it. You can't control it, but the fact is that I've got a rule: if you're an Arsenal fan, you can't cheat the Spurs. Doesn't matter where it benefits us. We've done our bit.
Yeah, we did.
We won our game. We won our game. We put pressure on our rivals. They succumbed to that pressure. Happy days, but to actually, I always believe you win the league because you're the best. You don't need the Spurs to do
exactly such nonsense.
To get the cockerel and the gun together, you know that's the greatest act of treachery.
Well, I mean, this is how I like to handle all that. Never gets old, Kenny.
It doesn't.
It's the cannon shooting the cockerel for those listening on audio. All right. So threats, I think it's pretty clear, you guys. If you're listening, I know a lot of you in the YouTube comments are going to jump in on this because most of you will be listening to this on replay. And please share your strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats with us. You know that we respond to every single message. For those listening on our audio platforms, especially on Spotify, where you can make your voice heard too, please let us know what you think the strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats are for you as well. Seeing as I have the boys here, I have to wrap up before I shoot over to the Arsenal Arms. Is it like a walk from Palace to the Den from here? It's pretty far. I should have left earlier.
It's a beautiful pub, so it's got fantastic signage. Your goal signage, beautiful.
It's all gastro now, isn't it?
Oh, is it? Is it too gastro pub? Yeah. See, I like a hole in the wall.
This time in modern London, it's all a gastro. You know, sandwiches like telephones. You know, and
bring back. That's why I like to go to the Nelly Dean, and I like going to Soho for my old pubs. I know there's new pubs there too, but they still got a lot of the old ones down there in Soho. The Lamb and Flag is the best. You can't beat the Lamb and Flag in London.
So if I saw a stat, I saw it on StatMuse. He's saying big chances created in the Premier League. Obviously, Bruno Fernandes is top with 16.
I'll take him.
Rodgers, I would take in a heartbeat. Ryan Cherky, you know the other persons as well. I couldn't believe it. I saw it. I thought it was Declan Rice.
So we didn't really talk a lot about. We didn't talk a lot about him.
I saw that.
I did a picture.
Big chances created in Premier League. Yeah. Bruno Fernandes, Rice, Rodgers, Cherky.
I'll tell you something. Do you remember the World Cup back in the day? So stupid when the Sun used to do those centre page spreads where you put your hands and pray for David Beckham or Wayne Rooney.
Oh my God!
Eileen Jury.
I mean, it was ridiculous. It's so stupid. Stupid newspaper. Anyway, so this guy, I'm telling you right now, he needs to be protected at all costs.
Yes.
He's too special. And every single team that wins leagues has that player. You guys have seen what's happened to City since Rodri has not been himself. And you know what? He's a bit of a villain right now, but you don't like to see that. Like that, Rodri was. This is why you worry about Saka. Like, please pray that he comes back the same. But Declan Rice is the key to all the magic.
Well, he can go the same way as Saka because he's playing a high volume of games. He's highly relied on for club and country, and it's World Cup year as well. You know, I fear for players who've gone through, you know, like this domestic program. In the European campaign and the World Cup, it's going to be like a slow progress for all the big teams in the league next year because it's going to you'll probably have to wait till October for them to be back to their best.
It's you know, you look at all of our players. I'm showing images now of the players arriving to training today. You got Kepa, you got Big Gabby. Big Gabby looks like he's ready to shoot someone there. You got Eza and Zubi. I mean, look at this team. Look at these guys. I love the team spirit. Smells like team spirit. It's all awesome. It really, really is. Timber also so important. Benjamin White, like how invaluable has he become with the injuries that we've had? Timber being able to move to the left. Need Calafiori back. Eza needs to step up, guys. Eza needs to step up. It's time. It's really time for him to put his boots on and take advantage of this situation.
It's hard though for the guy because of he's walking into an environment where it's not going to change for him just because doesn't matter that him.
It's the same for your careers though too, Kenny.
That's the thing. Him and Vic, they got to learn the way we play. And at the moment, we're in such a rush to win stuff that they just have to. If they fall off the bus, then so be it. Because the other day, the destinations are just the bus is not even stopping for a minute at the stop. It's moving on to the next stop. You know, it's going from like 1 minute it's in Crouch End, the next minute it's in W7. You know, bus W7, W3. Don't wait too long at Crouch End. You know, like Broadway. It goes uphill, Crouch Chill and get to Finsbury Park before you know it.
Yeah, you're right. They've come at a time. You're right. They've come at a time where, like I said it before, so it's like the insatiable appetite and the desperation to get over the line. For some of our fans, they don't want to wait.
Yeah.
You're correct.
All right. I'm going to get you guys out on real quick in like 30 seconds each. We got Sunderland. I think we're playing Sunderland at a great time. They seem to be on the decline a little bit. They're still a tough team. I think we pay back them a little bit. They've had some players out at AFCON, the most of any Premier League team. I think they've suffered from that. They were able to manage the process for the first couple of games, I think, but I think it hurt them in the end. Kenny, what does your starting 11 for Sunderland and your prediction before I let you go?
11, easy. Raya, Raya White, Hincapié, centre backs, Saliba, Gabriel. Midfield is going to be Eze, Zubimendi, Rice. Up top would be Victor. Either side of Victor, Trossard and Madueke. And I think it's going to be a long game. It's going to be a long day. Sunderland are going to be determined. I think it's just going to be 1-0 Arsenal or 2-1.
Love it. I'll take that. Albert.
Yeah, not too much of a dissimilar team. I would probably... I think Mosquera might come in. I think he might come in.
Yeah, apparently Timber. So that picture must have been from yesterday's training. So Demsek is telling me that Timber was not at training today.
Yeah, there was him and two others. I can't remember the other two. Demsek, you'll probably know, but I did see that earlier.
Calafiori will probably be back though for Sunderland.
He needs the minutes, doesn't he? Because I don't think he wants to rush him back, does he?
But you got Benjamin White and you've got like Kenny said, and Hincapié as well. So who's your midfield? Or did you do your defense?
No, it was the front line would be similar and then the midfield would be similar. I said the only possible change I might see is actually not Mosquera wouldn't come in. It more likely be Calafiori and Hincapié. I would have thought it'd be out those two. Yeah,
I think Hincapié will get the nod. Calafiori can come on. And midfield and strikers. Vamos.
Yes, do the business.
No, you tell me your midfield and your striker.
I said the striker. I said same as
Oh, you
I
did.
think Trossard will come in.
All right,
Trossard will come in. I think Trossard will come in.
Okay, brilliant. I think that we're going to really dominate Sunderland. I fancy us a lot in this game. I think it's going to be good. And I think it'll be another opportunity for Kai to come on, get some more goals. Victor, it'd be great for him to get goal at home. And I don't care who scores, how it goes in. I really don't care as long as we win and we get 3 points. That's all that matters. Make sure you follow these boys wherever you... Oh, that's not right. I've had this up. How did I do that? Oh, my God. I had Kenny Ken and I missed the 1972 bit out. No one noticed, by the way. Hey?
Don't worry about that. Don't worry about that. Look,
Kenny.
I can't really hide my age, can I? With these players,
You know what's really funny? My tag for my name was Heinz Beans for so long, and Gooner Russ. I realized it had been up there for a month. I'd spelt Heinz wrong, right? And when I spelled it correctly, Gooner Russ sent me a message. Goes, thank you corrected that. It was really annoying me. I go, why didn't you bloody tell me that I had it spelled incorrectly? You follow Albert. All right, what have you boys got coming up? What's going on in your podcasting world?
If I don't get a ticket for Saturday, I'm most likely I could still get one, possibly. Who's see? But I probably might do a watch along for Sunderland on my channel and Dan's Football Talks, man.
All right, and maybe we'll see you at Squad Central afterwards for a little debrief. Kenny, yes. What are you deplorables? I've renamed you.
the deplorables and the
deplorables. I've gone Hillary Clinton on you guys.
The deplorables. We obviously I do fan cams with the head of the Rat Army. He's the head of the army. I'm the chief.
The colonel.
Colonel.
How is Lieutenant Rat these days?
He's doing really well for himself. Yeah,
he looked buzzing the other day. I did come across.
He was really happy. We both concluded that we loved everything about that game. We loved the fact that it was win at all costs. We were very happy and we're looking forward to the final. But also, obviously, I'll be at the game doing my fan cam. Obviously, the Rat Army's having its podcast on Monday. I know you both secretly watch it, even though you'll never admit it. But the
I'll watch it. I
watch you. I watch you on there.
The most important thing is, well, does anyone like cricket? Because the cricket World Cup T20 is
I'm never trusting you guys again.
The USA are in the T20 World Cup alongside West Indies.
Let me tell you something. In our WhatsApp group that all of you want to join, these boys sold me this thing called the Ashes. All right. And let me tell you, I got up an ungodly hour, right, to watch England play in this thing called the Ashes, which, by the way, the trophy looks like the Geller Cup from the episode of Friends where Ross and Monica fight for the Geller Cup on Thanksgiving Day when they play American football in the garden at Central Park. And I can't try. Are you trying to sell me T20 now? Is that what's happening?
T20. If you think the Rat Army amongst the detestables, deplorables, T20 is basically like the worst thing to happen at cricket. Test cricket is a true test, but by the way, England have never won in Australia for the last 15 years. It was never going to happen. So maybe your introduction into Test cricket is probably going to be something nice and easy.
What is it that people? Is it T20's become like this sexy new competition? Like
T20's been around. You know, in public schools they play T20.
Oh,
and it's basically in a kind of a sort of a new invention, which wasn't. It's just
bums on seats.
It's bums on seats.
It's a one-day game you play, and it's a one-day.
Trust me, it's a shorter version. You'll probably enjoy it. But
I might like that.
Sophie, England done you a favour in the Ashes.
You want to hear C6s and crowds, and you want to see like a bit of pom-poms and cheerleaders. T20 is your game.
Oh, do they play that at night? Is that a night thing?
Day-night games.
I do like a cricket shirt. I do. I have I love old cricket. I've got an old cricket bat on my wall from the 1900s. I've got an old cricket ball. I love. I'm a collector.
Grace played, isn't it? W.G. Grace.
Yes. Right. Listen, we could go on forever, but apparently I've got to go over to the Arsenal Arms where I will be joining.
We'll be gnashing those teeth of these. You go, where's Sophie?
That guy turns up late for his own shows. Good for Dan. I tell you what.
Greatness is greatness.
I don't know how to do what all the other kids do. So just go over to Lee Judge's TV and raid.
Let me try and grab it.
Hello. We're coming from Highbury Squad. And Kenny, what a brilliant show. Thank you so much.
I've enjoyed myself immensely. I've had a
really
good time,
really good stuff.
Yeah. I always tell people that who say I'm looking old, I say, well, I'll probably shave when we win the league.
I like your beard. I think it's very you're ready to be in an Antoine Fuqua film.
Tell her that it's looked great. I think it looks great, but she hates it.
I love it. No, I do. I love a man in a beard. I mean, and this is coming from, one who doesn't really bat for men. I bat for the other team.
The thing about it is that all the men in my life when I was a kid all had moustache and a tash and a beard.
Yeah.
So it's something I'm used to.
Do you know what it is? I think it's very debonair. I bet when you put your little suit, I bet when you go out, look, hey, I like it a lot. I've got a crush on these two are my man crushes anyway. Yeah. They know that. So
good to see my big brother on stream with me, man.
No, Mike, you're supposed to do the raid on Dan's channel, not here. You know as much as I do about this shit.
He has an advert. Is it on Dan's or Lee's channel? It's on Lee's channel.
Oh no, it's on Lee's channel. Kenny is basically the Idris Elba of the Arsenal fan base. That is correct. I tried to get Idris on the show, but let's see if that happens.
Well, you need to get him in new music versions. He's DJ these days, isn't he?
Yeah, he's confused. I think he's confused.
Use the Kevin Samuels of your football YouTube, man. People, if you know, you know.
By the way, Albert, still no word from Anne Hathaway. Here's the thing. I'll wake up one day and she'll be on AFTV, and I'll be like, "Damn it!"
Could you imagine? No, can you imagine?
Well, a true support like her, of course she's going to go on AFTV.
Somehow she'll end up on Loose Cannons. That'll be hilarious.
Can you imagine?
Oh my God. All right, kids. Thank you so much. It's been amazing. Really appreciate these guys who gave up 2 hours of their evening. When was the last time we did a 2-hour show on Highbury Squad? All the kids.
This is the first time I've witnessed it. I'm sorry, everyone who likes shows.
I tell you what, you give me.
Through the watch along for the Women's Champions League finals last.
You invite one deplorable one and you end up with a 2-hour show. That's what's happening. Give our regards to the deplorables.
That's it. Get that watch time up. That's it.
Don't forget to tell your loved ones you love them, kids. Have a good one. We'll see you soon. We'll see you after the match on Saturday. Mind the gap between the train and the platform. Please stand clear of the discussion doors. The next stop is Highbury Squad